Hello there everybody and welcome back to Movie Squirm. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 2025 film Drop, and this is directed by Christopher Landon and stars Megan Farhey and Brandon Sklenner. When a widow goes on a date, she is suddenly harassed by message drops on her phone threatening her young boy who has been left at home. She must do as instructed in order for no harm to come to him, even if it includes killing her date. I'd heard a lot of YouTubers and early reactions from the South by Southwest Festival over in the US talking about this movie just a few weeks ago, and suddenly it was given a release date here. So I was like, okay, I'm going to see this one. It sounded like it was right up my street. I do love a good thriller, especially ones where characters are forced into tight situations or are put in corners that they're struggling to get out of. And that's exactly what this movie is. Now, what I really liked about this is how Christopher Landon was able to portray something very relatable to a lot of people who are watching this movie, with it being a first date that this woman is going on. Now, a lot of us have dated in the past, first date, haven't dated in a while, or just any date in general. It's a very common thing for people to get nervous, and Megan Farhey's character is getting the pre-date jitters here as she turns up to the restaurant and waiting for her date to turn up. She's kind of breathing in and out, and she's praying things don't go wrong because she really likes this guy by the look of things. And I just think that's something that can connect us to that character straight away there. But what he does is basically put on screen where a lot of people will talk about their past dates where things may have gone wrong, where jokes don't land or drinks are spilled, dialogue doesn't really connect with the two characters, but he just amps it up to 100. Basically, where it's, this is how a first date from hell may go, which is something you may have experienced, but not in a way like this. So he's took this very common thing that people do all the time and just gone with it to bigger heights. Because what happens later on is that this woman, Megan Farhey's character, is getting all these messages threatening her and saying your kid is in danger if you don't do what I say. And as that happens in the movie, you're constantly on edge. You're thinking, what's she got to do next? This guy is asking a lot of her, and she's got to do it all whilst not letting her date know what is actually going on. And I really like how Christopher Landon directed this movie with all the text on screen here. So basically, she may say, I've just got to go to the bathroom here. She'll be reading these message drops, and it is just all on screen for us to see. We're not constantly looking at her phone screen or anything. But you can see the anxiety in her face as she's reading these messages, as we read them on screen. And it all just worked very well indeed. And I was like, holy shit, what is this guy going to ask her next? I mean, this movie really had a Red Eye feel from Wes Craven or Non-Stop with Liam Neeson in. That's the kind of vibe I was getting. But I really liked how the movie sort of pans around the restaurant here and there and keeps you guessing as to who this character may be, who's dropping these messages. It could be the waiter, it could be the guy on the next table, but because these message drops have all got to be within this small type of radius, so it's someone around her. And I really like the mystery of that. But Landon really makes you feel like you're in the restaurant with these characters, all down to the great sound design. I really like it when there's important dialogue going on and he will just quieten everything down around these characters because they are the main focus. Feels like you're sitting at the table with them, but when it's not so, important, the dialogue, and they're just having normal conversation or whatever, you can hear the clinks of glasses and people just having more higher volume of conversation in the restaurant. It really did capture what a dinner date would exactly be like. So yeah, I think he just nailed the location here. And this has all got to be helped along by two great central performances, of course, because these two characters are basically the main focus of the entire film. Okay, we get waiters and stuff coming in here and there, and I thought one of the waiters was really funny in this movie, to be honest. I forgot the guy's name, like Matt or something. But Megan Farhey, I done a great job here. She has got a real balancing act to do in this movie, where she's already nervous, with the date and stuff, and, being a widow and going on her first date in a while. But she's also got to put across all these lies and pretend that nothing is going on her phone, because her date is not allowed to know, or his son will be killed. And she's really got to hide them feelings and stuff. And of course, Brandon Skalner's character does get onto this here and there, but I think she finds ways to maneuver around it. And I've heard a lot of people say they didn't believe that this guy would stay, but I think she was quite charming enough, to be honest. And, you know, the right lies were kind of told. There's a scene where she's actually got to make him stay, where I thought, yeah, I can see why he has stayed, to be honest. So I thought real solid characters that you relate to. Well, especially Megan Farley's character, but strong performances from both. I did like both of these characters quite a bit. I mean, they just feel like normal people, really, at times, but there is a few problems with this movie, guys, that I just, yeah, it kind of took me out of it a little bit and stopped it from being an amazing thriller. And one of them is having to suspend your disbelief a little bit here. Now, M. Night Shyamalan's Trap, I gave a negative review to last year because he was making me suspend my disbelief so much. And I just was kind of seeing through the convenient writing here and there. And this movie does have that, but it's not on the level of Trap. It's weird, isn't it, as a movie fan, that sometimes you can kind of just tolerate it because you're having such a good time. And like I said, it's not on the level of Trap anyway, but there are certain moments here where I was scratching my head going, how the fuck has that happened? And how has this person in the restaurant kind of done that? So you've got to ask questions, really. But like I said, I was having just such a good time with it that I was able to let it go a little bit there and sort of not let it bother me too much. I also, as much as I like doing the mystery of the movie here, I did guess the outcome of who this person in the restaurant was going to be. And I hate it when that happens because I don't think the movie has done a great job if someone like me who never guesses reveals has guessed it. And many of you may not see it coming. I don't know. It might not be a problem for you. That's just my personal look at it. Where I was like, oh man, yeah, I guessed this like 20 minutes ago. And the third act goes a little bit haywire here. Now, there's nothing wrong with elevating your third act. I love a lot of movies that do that. But it kind of feels a little bit secluded from the first hour. It kind of feels like Christopher Landon directed the first hour. Great director, by the way. I hope he comes on board to maybe do another Scream movie that he wanted to do in the first place without all this controversy. But it feels like John Woo stepped in for the third act. Now, I wouldn't say it's all on face-off levels of action here, but there's some scenes where I was like, this just doesn't feel right to be in this movie. It's still an okay time, I suppose, but it just doesn't feel like the same film, unfortunately. And there's some more suspension of disbelief, and it happens in the third act more than the first hour. So, yeah, the third act, whilst being okay, was still a little bit too much, if you like. But overall, guys, I thought this was a really fun time. It's one of my favourite movies of the year so far, although 2025 hasn't been the best year, to be honest. But this is a decent little thriller. If you like these one-location type movies where on the edge of your seat stuff is happening and tension building, it's a pretty damn good movie, in my opinion. I'm just going to go ahead and rate this movie now. I'm going to give Drop a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, if you like your thrillers, definitely check this one out. Okay, guys, hope you all enjoyed this review. What did you think of Drop? Please do let me know in the comments down below. And if you want more 2025 horror movie reviews, even though this is a thriller movie, please check them out in the playlist down below as well. If horror is your sort of thing, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel. It really helped me out. Thanks so much, guys. You take care, and I'll see you all in the next video.